We're snorting cap rates and shooting up cash flow here at Deal Junkie. Welcome back to Deal Junkies. I'm Gabe Johansson, back in the SMI studio. Trevor, do your best impression of me. Do an intro for us real quick.
Welcome back to Deal Junkies. Was that pretty good?
You have a radio voice.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Trev Bott, Dane, and a very special guest.
He flew in from California for this.
Flew in from California, Erik Nielsen, the COO of Equal Housing Group. Thanks for joining us, Erik.
They offer equal housing to everyone across the nation.
Erik did not just fly in to teach us about mobile home parks. He also flew in to do Trevor and Dane's Ironman.
That is correct.
Hey, half Ironman.
Half Ironman. That's correct.
Half Iron. So you're only half of an Ironman.
So only half.
Have you done this before?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Never done this before, but we were in Japan talking about Misogis, and the reason
you were on the podcast in the group setting in Japan. Okay.
And the reason that it came up was because I'm cocky, and I was like, I could do that, no problem.
So this is your Misogi.
This is my Misogi.
So have you trained for it, or you're just like...
Yeah, we've been training. Not as much
Wait,
as I
you thought you could do a half Ironman, no problem? That was our bit?
No,
I thought you said you could do like a marathon. Yeah,
I was like, marathon I could do it tomorrow, no training.
Yeah, and then we were all like, no. And then, I mean, you could walk one.
You could
I think is what we said.
You could get through it. And then
Yeah.
we're like, okay, let's up the ante then. Do a half Ironman. And I was like, I don't think I can
So
do
we
that
spent
tomorrow.
thousands of dollars and spent all these hours just to have Erik come here and do this, basically.
Thank you.
Complete his Misogi.
You roped him in with an Ironman. That's what it took to get you to fly from California.
Yeah, we had Erik and one other friend who wanted to do it, so we threw it on for them.
And the jet skis.
Yeah.
This comes from you. The whole Ironman thing comes from you.
No, this is specifically for Erik. Like, we made this just for Erik.
Yeah.
No,
because we all picked Misogis while we were there, and he was making excuses.
Right. Because I was like, my knees hurt, my back hurts. And then Trevor's like, we've already got a date.
Yeah.
I'm getting T-shirts for it. We've got volunteers. You're booked.
And lifeguards, yeah.
And lifeguards.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Oh, you're still young.
Turned 28 in August.
So you can do anything. You feel like you could do anything.
Yeah.
Are you an athlete? You run regularly?
I played soccer through college.
Okay.
And so this is probably the most fit I've been since then.
Soccer's that's a demanding sport. Like if you play soccer, you're pretty fit.
I mean, yeah, probably running 6 to 8 miles a game.
Yeah.
Over 90 to 120 minutes.
That's why you say I can go run a marathon tomorrow.
I'm used to it. Yeah, exactly.
Are you sure you're used to it, or is your brain telling
I've
you
never
you're still
run a
18 years
marathon.
old?
Yeah, I think so, partly.
There's
when I am
There's a
training,
problem, with aging. Is your brain still thinks
it doesn't catch up.
You don't reset.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erik tried to dip out, though, because he woke up this morning saying his back hurt.
No, I was brushing
He was
my
already
teeth
trying to
last
skip.
night.
He strained his back.
I strained my back.
Brushing your teeth?
Yeah.
I can do an Ironman, but I can't brush my teeth. Okay. What are we talking about? Trevor's going to kick us off. I love your new Rolex, though. What's it say on the face of it? The dial says...
It's now.
It's now.
Beautiful.
Trevor's finally balling. It's not a Rolex, but it looks like one.
It's a custom-made watch.
Man, you're such a baller, Trevor. I love that. It's now. So you don't care what time it is. That's cool. All right.
It still tells the time.
It's now.
It's always now.
All right. It's your turn, Trevor. Kick us off. What are we going to talk about?
So we want to give you guys some background on what Erik does, and then Erik's trying to do some bigger deals, and we wanted to talk to you about this because we've been talking to him a little bit about it.
About bigger deals?
About bigger deals and how to make sense of them. So, Erik, right now you're buying, you guys have how many parks?
13.
13 parks across the country in random smallish cities, right?
We have little pockets. We've got 6 in Washington, 1 in Oregon, and then the rest, or 2 in Texas. The rest are scattered.
So, and you're buying, these are like $1 to $2 million-ish parks you're buying kind of generally?
The largest park we've bought is 135.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
What's
then,
the smallest park you've bought?
We just bought a park for $650,000 in Missouri.
Okay.
yeah, so they're buying these parks and you're trying to hit like 20% cash flow or something like that on the parks. What's the
year
target?
over year, over 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, so they're able to buy these like mom and pop, poorly operated parks that are in random places across the country, go upgrade them and get these like really good returns. But the hard part for them is like that's really small. Like you're buying $600,000 deals. Like it's hard to grow and scale that. And do
so let me
more.
do the math real quick. You buy a $600,000 park, you're going to make $600,000 in cash flow in the first 5 years.
Yeah. No, not cash flow. Everything.
Oh,
Equity, cash flow.
Oh, okay. What do you hit for like a cash on cash return on these?
That's
do you have
the
a
target,
target?
20%.
Well, you're talking about 20% between loan pay down, appreciation, equity growth. But like,
Year 5 exit,
okay.
all in.
But just your cash on cash, like your cash flow is pretty high on these too. Like you're
Probably
getting like an 8%.
8 to
or-
10.
Varies on the deal, yeah.
Yeah. And you guys are doing seller carry on most of these?
About at this point, we have four parks with commercial debt on them.
Okay.
The rest are seller carry.
Did they start with commercial debt, or did you buy them seller carry? and
Started
they
with
finance-
commercial debt,
Started
yeah.
with commercial. Okay. Are they hard to get financed?
Mm,
Because they're smaller
kind of
loans.
varies. On this, actually, this smallest loan we got, first time we used a broker, mortgage broker, we got a rate at 5.75.
Wow.
Yeah. So like
Like right now.
What's your term
Right.
on that?
that's a 5-year loan, either 20 or 25-year AM. I can't remember.
That's a
right
pretty
now.
good loan.
Is that fixed?
Fantastic. Yeah, fixed.
Wow.
How big was the loan?
450 grand, something
Okay.
like that. So it's small,
Crazy.
but crazy terms. So
How many homes is that?
that's 34 lots and then 38 storage units and,
Are-
and a barn.
Are you doing parks that
Barn.
that you own all the homes, or the tenants own all the
No,
homes?
ideally we own no homes.
Okay.
The only property really where we own a decent amount of homes is in Oklahoma because we're doing a big infill project there. So we bring the homes in, then just it's hard to sell them off.
Okay.
So we end up doing lease options.
So you're adding units and trying to sell them off. The ultimate goal is to
Exactly.
not own the units themselves.
That's
Tell
the
us
ultimate
tell us why is that the goal?
because then you don't need to fix anything.
Okay.
They're responsible for that. We just provide the utilities and the land, the infrastructure. And then if they own their own home, they fix the roof when it breaks. They fix the toilet when it leaks. They do all that.
Because I was thinking, and we've talked about you guys in one of our last episodes, and I said this might be a lot of brain damage to deal with parks all over the country. But you're saying, as the COO of this group, it's really not that hard.
Well, I was thinking about that when I went to the bathroom.
He was in there a while.
You changed your mind?
I was looking in the mirror like, oh, what did I say? I was thinking about that, and I actually have nothing to compare it to. This is all I've ever known.
Okay.
So to me, it's not that hard anymore. Like it makes sense because this is all I've ever known. But so maybe you guys can.
I think parks
Enlighten
and
me, but-
storage are a lot of work.
But the thing is,
It's different work.
yeah, it's definitely different.
You're not
work.
running maintenance teams and doing big turns
Exactly.
and dealing with the buildings, the physical asset. You still have the tenant population,
Mm-hmm.
and typically you're going to be in a lower income bracket, and you're probably going to have an on-site manager there
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
who lives there, who is somebody who is in a lower income bracket.
Most
So,
likely.
so you got somebody that's not super sophisticated,
Correct.
maybe not a ton of business or management experience that are there managing your asset.
Right.
And so to me, the brain damage would come in trying to find the right person to do that, stay on top of them, train them, put your arms around them, make sure they can actually run the project that they're at.
You nailed it. That's the hardest part is finding the right person. And depending on the area that you're in, that's going to make it a lot harder or a lot easier. But also, I've realized when hiring somebody, the person that has the energy, the motivation, the desire to work hard, but doesn't necessarily have the sophistication
Yeah.
that you would like, that matters a lot. Because you can kind of teach, hey, this is what you do if they're not paying. This is how you handle these people.
I call that the unteachables.
Yeah.
So usually a person has 90% of what they need to do the job. The job itself, as long as you can teach them the systems
Exactly.
and what needs to be done, that's the easy part.
Exactly.
But it's the unteachables. Like,
Correct.
do they have work ethic? Do they answer the phone?
Right.
Do they drink all day? Or are they actually serious about what they're doing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I've heard horror stories about. I mean, I've heard horror stories about every type of asset, but especially in parks, just where people have gotten taken either through accepting cash rents and they're
Yep.
embezzling, or you get a bunch of drug activity at the project, or the on-sites, just not, I don't know, just horror stories, basically.
Totally.
Have you had some of those
Oh,
horror stories?
absolutely. When my first property in Wisconsin, we've since sold it. And speaking of that, 20% cash on cash, we returned 19% to investors year over year.
You failed.
We failed. Exactly. Which I feel bad about. I ended up hiring the town drunk She interviewed. She interviewed very.
How big's the town?
It was in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. It was a small town, which was a mistake of ours. It was, I think, under 10,000 people, and our rule is 100,000 MSA. So we broke that because
By a pretty large margin.
a huge margin.
Yeah.
The numbers made sense on the actual deal itself, but we didn't anticipate how difficult it was to get good help in an area like that.
Yeah.
So this lady somehow interviewed very well.
Yeah.
You got the job. Turns out she was a drunk, and
She was sober during the interview,
I think so.
Maybe.
I think so.
or you were on a date with her.
I took her out, a couple cocktails.
You didn't see the red flags during the interview.
Her name was Brandy, so I guess I should have known.
Brandy,
maybe.
yeah.
She's a fine girl. I ended up, she just disappeared on us one day, hired a new manager. That new manager picked her up at the laundromat, apparently, small town, and took her home when she was drunk. And she was bragging about how she had this job at the mobile home park being the manager, and she hadn't shown up in 2 weeks. And
No way.
yeah, that's how I learned about it. So, you got to be careful with, the location that you're in. I think that is the biggest thing when you're operating, across multiple states like
So
this.
how when you're not there, so how do you know when there's a problem? Like it seems to me like if you were there, you'd know in a few days if you had a problem.
Right.
When you're in Japan figuring out your misogi, you might be weeks or months into this before you know you have a problem. How do you spot the problem?
There's a potential for that. I mean, we do weekly meetings. I do weekly meetings. Every Wednesday, I meet with each manager for 30 minutes. We go over all the hot items, lease ups, problems, tenant complaints, arrears, everything like that, to-do list. So we'll do that. I get pictures once a month, pictures and videos walkthrough of all the properties once a month, and once a quarter as well. So if they're not showing me something during those moments, I'm not going to catch it unless I'm going out there. So it's kind of just a roll of the dice. It seems like people are being pretty forthright and honest with me, though. They're good people that are working for us, so I trust them. But there's not much more that I can
Do you have to get on them to show up to these meetings or send you the photos and everything, or do they just do it?
They do it. Yeah.
So you got good people.
I've got good people, and that's been why I personally think it's not that hard, is doing this scattered approach, is because we've been able to find good people.
So what happens when Brandy gets drunk, somebody moves out of town, somebody dies, somebody quits, like now you got a project sitting several states away with nobody there, and you're going to have to hire somebody. Are you going to fly into that market to try to figure out who to hire? Are you going to do this all on Zoom? Or
I haven't
what?
needed to so far, but that is the 2 weeks of brain damage and stress that I get every year, is when a manager, and this has only happened like twice, when a manager just isn't working out and you got to find that replacement. That's the hardest part, is like getting that transition right. Are they willing to stay on, actually hand the keys and the paperwork over to the new manager? Are they going to finish out their term? Or are they going to leave today and not give me any time to figure it out? So when that's happened, it's been okay. All the managers have been pretty reasonable. They stayed for the extra 2 weeks. It takes me about a week to find somebody new if the market is good. And then
you got to train them.
Got to train them. I have a big onboarding package that I've put together, and I tell them to read all through it. And then the first, 1 to 4 meetings or so, I just walk them through, step by step. This is what I want. This is exactly how I want it. And then the rest is really just answering the phone and dealing with tenant complaints, tenant issues, because most of these people have done it before. And so they get the idea, and I always tell them your goal is to maximize revenue, minimize expenses. So make your decision through that lens. Very simple, obviously, but so most of them get it, and most of them are hardworking. This is a part-time job for them in addition to a full-time job that they have, and they typically need the income. So they want to do well. They want to keep the job. They want to work hard.
And they want to live in a nice neighborhood, so they get to have some control over that.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have a couple managers that actually live on site, and they do a daily walkthrough, and they tell me about it daily. They're very proud. They like to tell me, like, hey, I did this walkthrough, I found this, and I told them to clean it up, and they did it. I'm like, great job, I love it, thank you. And so if they're living there, there's a lot of pride of ownership that I see from a lot of them, which is good.
You talked about paperwork a little bit. Are you finding that the state laws change in all these places that you're in?
Tell me about Washington.
So you're having to have a different ops manual for every state that you're in, and doing a different training for each state that you're in. Is that correct?
Yeah. On the legal side of it, yes, and that's about it. So we'll get an attorney, and we'll just for that specific location, we'll say, give us the rundown here. Like, can we have all your documents for pay or vacate notices, eviction notices? Can we have your lease, all that good stuff? And so you only have to do that one time, basically, and then the rest is pretty straightforward.
What happens when somebody doesn't pay their rent at a mobile home park?
Pay or vacate notice.
Pay or vacate notice.
Mm-hmm.
So they can take their home, but usually
you can.
They don't. Or?
You owe me $1,000. I'll give you a pay or vacate notice, depending on the state. Washington, for example, is 14 days plus a 5-day mail period, so it's actually a 19-day notice. 19 days to pay me or leave. If you don't pay me, we go to the next step of eviction. We got an attorney involved. If that eviction is successful, then you have to remove your home. If you can't afford to remove your home, it stays. You go. If we own the home, it's a lot easier. We just kick them out of the home. But if they own the home, a lot of the time people can't afford to move the home.
It's expensive. It's like more than the cost of the home.
In some cases, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's minimum. You're probably looking at $5,000,
okay,
even just for a short distance. So a lot of people can't afford that. I mean, they couldn't pay their rent in the first place, and I don't want that. So we come up with payment plans a lot of the time if they're actually communicating with us, responding, and willing to work with us. If they don't do that, their home stays, and then depending on if we think we can actually make some money off of it, we'll try and get the title of it.
How do you get the title of it?
It's a long process. It depends on the state as well. So that's another part where
you do like a mechanic's lien or like some sort of.
It's an abandoned vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
It depends on the state, but typically it's just like an abandoned vehicle, something.
Because in a lot of states, this is managed through like their DMV.
Correct.
But like in Oregon, they've changed that now, where it's not. Do you own anything in Oregon?
We own an RV park in Oregon, so haven't had to deal with this.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have a manufactured dealer's licensed even just to broker those deals, but it used to be managed through DMV, and now it's managed through agency. That's
like our Oklahoma property. Everything's done through the DMV, the tag agency. Takes a long time, weeks and weeks, because they're slow over there for some reason.
A lot of mobile homes.
A lot of mobile homes, and we have our dealer license there as well to kind of help speed that process along, sell homes legally, in the capacity that we want to.
Do you have to have a license to sell them in all the states, or are there some where they just let you move them around?
I think it varies, but I think the safest option in some states, they don't tell you specifically, like in Oklahoma, for example, they don't tell you how many homes you can sell without a dealer's license before it becomes a problem. I forget the verbiage they use in the law, but it's something vague, like a reasonable amount, something like that. It's like interpreted as 3, 5, 7, who knows? So the best thing to do is get a dealer's license. If you don't want to do that, you can just do lease options. That's how a lot of people circumvent that, so it's no problem. But we had to infill like 25 spots, so dealer license kind of made sense. And we get access to this floor line of credit with 21st Century. So
they get to finance the home, not through you, but through another.
So the structure that we have in place with 21st Century, I think it's really good. Some people don't really like it for some reason, but they fund the entire purchase of the manufacturing of the home. And then we just pay for the setup and the transportation. And then the invoice of the home, it's typically around like 38, 39 grand. That gets financed if we put a renter in it, or somebody can buy it from us cash and they just pay off that loan. And then they add a little margin onto it, like 10%.
So you've got basically a flooring line.
Correct.
Yeah.
How did Jan do this before having you in operations? Because he had parks prior.
Yeah, I think he had less going on. He had 3. So we own 13. Well, I own 10. Jan owns 13. He owns 3 without me. So he owned 3 before I was involved. I think he had less going on. This was like 6 years ago when he bought those, 7 years ago maybe. He had less going on, so he could spend more time on the ops. And then as he started to buy more things, make more money, those 3 kind of just fell to the wayside. He has partners on those as well who I think focus on those more, but that was kind of the main thing.
Tell us about your one in Oregon that's in Hermiston?
Pendleton.
Tell us about that deal, because that was a really good one, right?
This is our sweet baby, our favorite deal. Yeah.
Tell us what you bought it for, what it looked like, how you found it.
Bought it for $999. It's a mixture. It was a mixture of long-term, short-term RV park. 43% occupied or something like that. Our business plan was we're going to fill it up to 100% within 5 years. I learned how to do Google Ads and just absolutely smoked it. 5 months, it was 100% occupancy. We took over rents at $550. We're bringing in new tenants at $800. It's just appraised for like 2.2. So we just in about 6 months, $1 million and $1.2 million of equity growth, just from simply operating it better, which was awesome. That's the coolest.
Were the units already there, or you had to bring...
RV park.
RV.
Yeah, that's why we were able to infill it turn it around so quickly, was because all we had to do was good marketing.
Tell our audience what the difference is between RV and MHP, mobile home park.
I mean, a mobile home is it's not a stick built, but it's a modular home that sits on piers. You tie it down to the ground. You hook it up to the utilities. There's a lot more involved in that.
It's like almost a house.
It's like almost a house, exactly. And it's
RV is like you turn the motor on, drive out, or you hook it to a truck and pull it out like it's easy to move.
Right. And so you have a lot more volatility in an RV park typically, because if somebody's behind on rent, they're just like, don't worry, I'll pay. And then they'll string you along for 2 months. And then, as soon as you deliver that notice, they're gone. Which at the end of the day, I'm okay with. Because then we don't have to pay for attorney fees and we can fill that spot really quickly. But mobile home, they're a lot larger. You need to have a professional, deliver, install it correctly according to the manufacturing blueprints, tie it down properly, skirt it. It's a lot more permanent,
And the RVs would always be managed through DMV, whereas the mobile home park may not be. And this is like, mobile home park is like when you're talking single wide, double wide, triple wide, or is mobile home park like also tiny home? And there's our tiny home like sits on a trailer though, doesn't it?
I think it does, yeah, like on a chassis.
But it's still not super movable. They tie them down once.
Similar thing. Like I would say it's probably in between in terms of difficulty on moving it compared to RV and mobile home. It's probably in the middle, I would say. Okay. We don't have any properties with tiny homes on them, but I mean, it's something to consider. I think a lot of people are doing that in Texas, like container homes and things like that, because apparently it's a little more economical. I don't really know much about it, though, to be honest. But, yeah, mobile homes are affixed to the ground. So you can move them, but like we talked about, it's minimum probably $5,000 to do it.
So do you pick up the same kind of equity growth in an RV park as you would in mobile home park, or is there a difference there?
Technically, RV parks are going to trade a little bit higher at a cap rate, just because you have that volatility, you have that transient nature to them.
Yeah, it's not as static.
Correct.
Well, anything that has more of a business component is always going to trade at a higher cap rate.
Right. And
like
to be
hotels.
clear, these are long-term stay RV parks. So
yeah.
We like to solve that long-term housing problem. Yeah, but technically speaking,
as a group,
equally as a group,
equally as a housing group. Yeah, exactly. That's where your name comes from.
Exactly,
equal housing group.
Exactly.
All right. So tell me why you guys want to do bigger deals rather than just doing a bunch of these small deals.
I mean, because we just bought a property for $650,000.
It's a house in Seattle. It's a cheap house in Seattle.
It's a house in Tacoma.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we spent 90 days doing that. We could have spent 90 days buying a $6 million property. It's the exact same amount of work. Why not do that?
So why not?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. We are struggling because we do everything off market. We are, because of these guys.
Explain. Like you're not using brokers.
We
MLS,
have never used
whatever.
a broker. We've never purchased anything off the MLS.
So you're sending out letters to owners, doing direct contact?
Direct. Cold calling is our best and most effective form of marketing right now. So we'll get a list. We'll pull a list, skip trace it, call it through. We have, I think, 3 cold callers in Costa Rica or Egypt. I forget where they are.
Egypt.
Last time they were in Egypt.
Okay, yeah, in Egypt. And then we have an acquisition manager who follows up with them. We started trying to go through brokers because these guys have been just pushing us to be better.
Trevor and Dane.
Yeah, Trevor and Dane.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, guys. The issue that we're running into, though, is the listings are just way too expensive, and there's no spread there. And
have you tried offering less?
That's Yes, every time.
Or do you-
So we offer much less because that's where the economics make sense for us. And it's just a no every time. And so we don't know. I don't understand how to bridge that gap when the numbers just don't make
More
sense.
offers.
Yeah. So
What do the numbers look like in comparison? Like what cap rate are you buying stuff at versus what are you seeing the bigger parks trade at?
I mean, a big, nice park is probably trading for 5 to 6 caps, maybe 7. And we're buying parks at, probably 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. Yeah.
It's a big difference.
That is a big difference.
So you're looking at deals, you're like, oh, this is a $2 million deal, but they want $3 or $4 million.
Right, exactly.
So you're like so far away, it's almost not worth right in the end.
Right, exactly. And so it's like, all right, so we could get this park at a 6 cap, we'll pick it up, but our rate's going to be 7.25. So we already have a negative spread on interest rate and cap rate. So then,
Do you ever offer for like an AB plan, like you guys carry or be creative, and we
we
get to a
always
higher
offer
price?
2. We always offer seller financing. We offer cash. We've tried to offer because again, Devin and Train.
Dever and Dan.
Dever and Train.
Dever and Train told us about the 721 exchange, so we've been trying to kind of finagle that every once in a while. I think the issue maybe is volume. I think it is. I don't know. I'm not on that side of the business. That's Jan and our other guy, Devin, that do the offers. I mean, we're pushing probably for the last 3 months anywhere from 5 to 10 offers a week. So
That's
quite
a bit.
It is a lot. Right. And
So you're not getting a lot of success out of that, is what you're saying.
on market, not at all. No.
You're saying 5 to 10 total offers or 5 to 10 on market offers a week?
Total.
Okay.
On market, probably, I would guess, is like 30% of that.
Okay.
Just guessing.
How much of a what's the word I'm looking for? Like, do you guys go on an exploratory mission before you send somebody an offer, or are you just kind of going like, hey, you want to sell, here's an offer? Like, how much work is done on the front side to really figure out what the seller's looking for and what their problem is they're trying to solve?
A good amount of work. I mean, in a lot of cases, we don't tie. I would say on average, it takes us probably 12 months to tie up a property. We just have so many going on at the same time with our acquisition manager that we have probably 3 to 6 contracts going at any given time. But we've just been working them for so many years that, it just comes up at a certain time. So our managers, learning about their kids, learning about their dreams and aspirations, what they want to do with the money. So we're going deep on it in most cases.
Why does it take so long?
Sometimes
say-
people just aren't ready to sell.
That makes sense too, because from a broker perspective, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you're talking to a client.
Yeah, for a year before you list the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 12 months. I mean, we just wholesale the deal actually that we had under contract 2 years ago, but it didn't make sense, and we got it back under contract, and we're able to get it to the finish line. So that one took 36 months or so. So it varies.
And then you didn't even buy it; you wholesaled.
Yeah, we wholesaled it. Yeah,
All right.
which I'm okay with.
So what do you think they do? Like why would a bigger one?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking about the asset type and the business model to be. You guys have some benefits, I think, from an operations standpoint, because I think that you can duplicate what you're doing faster over a bigger area.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that there's more opportunity for creativity in your asset type, because most people in multifamily don't want to carry, at least not right now. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's more people willing to do it right now. But I mean, the problem is just finding the deals,
Right.
really. And then what you're running into is the same thing we are, and everybody is just that bid ask spread between buyers and sellers right now. The market has clearly changed over the last few years.
Absolutely.
And so a seller who may want to sell but doesn't have a high motivation to do so, other than maybe now is the time to sell, is probably the wrong seller. Like
Right.
you're looking for somebody who they're splitting up a partnership, they're getting divorced, somebody died. It's almost like the residential game where you're looking for something changed in their life. And it's not so much a financial decision as it is a lifestyle decision. I would be looking for motivation. And I don't know, obviously your team is going to be able to seek that out.
Is there upside on the bigger parks still that you're seeing? or there's no upside? Because I know you're looking for that specific number, but let's just say you're assuming market cap rate is 6 on these. Is there operational efficiencies on these $6 million parks where they're not
Another
running
thing
them?
is, in most cases, they're operating pretty well. It kind of seems like they're at the polar opposites. You buy an asset that's just fully optimized already. So somebody's coming in, they want a 6 cap, all cash, just because they want to park their money somewhere. And then you get the other side where you have this huge asset that's just completely underperforming, and it's just too much for our little operation. It's like a 100 pad that only has 30 spaces occupied. And you need to bring in 70 homes to make it count. It's like that's just above our capacity right now. Maybe I'm thinking too small, but that's kind of what we're seeing. A little mixture of those.
That seems like the perfect deal.
Yeah.
I mean, right? If it's 30% occupied, are they pricing it as though, like, how's the pricing work on those? When you see pricing for something that's 30% occupied, is it based on current income?
It should be, but you get a little.
They got the pro forma
broker flavor in there, but infilling is very difficult for mobile home parks. It's very, very time consuming. And so I just don't think we have, like, we'd have to hire a full-time infill manager, probably a marketing person, and just have them focus on that solely. But that would take up all of my time.
And your infill, you're not planning on anybody bringing their own home, really. You're planning on placing homes, finding a financing option for them to buy the home, and then have them rent the space from you.
Yeah,
so
it's hard to get people to bring their own home. Out of all, so I just counted. I have 450 lots or something like that. Out of all of those, probably 3 or 4 people have brought their own homes.
Does it math out on a new building where you don't have to worry as much about maintenance, just to put them in and rent them out and own the home?
So the issue with that is, this is an issue that you run into actually a lot when you're talking to mom and pop owners, is if they like having a park with all 100% park owned homes, because their revenue is higher. You charge a higher rent. You own the home, you're doing the maintenance, so you charge higher rent. The issue with that is banks don't capitalize the park owned home income. They only capitalize the income generated from the land, so the lot rent. So it actually, in reality, your cash flow is higher, but your valuation is lower. Yeah. Oh. But they think that's not the case, because look how much money I'm making. Look at this. And so there's a little disconnect there, and so there's some education that's involved in that. But so,
I mean, if we could rent a building for $1,000, we would spend 40, 50 grand to put that house there and rent it and keep it, wouldn't we?
Yeah, you would get like a 20% cash on cash.
Wouldn't that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What? I don't know.
It's $12,000 a year, and you spend 40 or 50 grand. 12,000 divided by 40 or 50.
No, but that's assuming no expenses, right?
Well, yeah. In the first few years, you may not have any, but as you go along, what are your expenses going to be? You're not paying for their utilities, though. Yeah. You're not paying. I guess you'd be paying for insurance, taxes, maintenance.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like that
it wouldn't be a 40 or 50% expense ratio, though. It'd be like a 20% expense ratio
at the start. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that type of tenant probably doesn't take as good of care of their. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being.
I'm surprised you guys haven't found an on-market park, because when we were with you in Greece, and then we were like, we should look and see.
Trevor found 5,
and then we made 2 phone calls. We almost had a $10 million park.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing that. The numbers don't make sense. I don't remember what the numbers were on those deals. Like, did they pencil? I don't remember.
I would have done it.
That doesn't say much.
So
if you guys operate it.
I mean, you buy a park, I'll operate, no problem. But
deal.
The numbers just didn't make sense.
This is what we did with self-storage too.
And find an operator.
We said we were going to buy self-storage because we had an operator, and then
it broke down.
Well, actually, it was because Gabe got excited while we were at a speech.
Listen to AJ talk.
AJ Osborne was talking about buying self-storage.
AJ Osborne's a savage.
Gabe was like, "We're gonna do it in the next 6 months. We're buying self-storage." And then like a week later, Gabe was like, "I found a deal." We're like, "All right,
is it a good deal?"
Yeah, we love it. It's great. I don't know that it makes us want to go do all storage, but it's a covered land play. It sort of pencils, pays for itself, and we're sitting on some dirt that's going to be worth 3 times more than what we paid for the project. So that's
good enough.
That one
there
works.
Yeah. Who's your operator?
Jordan Brown. You ever met
Brown.
Jordan?
I don't think so.
He's Storage Life, I think, is his brand, or is he not? Or is that what was that a company? He
I
was
can't
with?
remember. He's been at a couple different places.
He's been involved in education, and he's like all in on storage. Super sharp guy.
So he's a solid operator.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's. Do you know what your occupancy is right now?
On that project,
It's the highest it's been since we owned it. We just got over 90. Yeah.
like 94%.
So do you know what his strategy is? Is it not to increase like rate increases once a year, or does he do it?
He's trying to keep it between 80 to 90% full
Okay,
to like push the market and see, and then you're just doing the math on how hard you can push it where you're not dropping below that 80 and what's the optimal combination to get you max revenue.
But there was a bunch of rent appreciation available. Like they were not at market when we bought it, and it was in pretty good shape, except we had a building burned down. Then we had to rebuild it. There's been other problems, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
I was there when it burned.
Yeah, we were
you were
sitting.
there.
Yeah,
Did you burn it down?
Jordan called me. Jordan called me. Jordan called me and he was like, "Hey, dude, are you busy right now?" And I was like, "No, what's up?" And he was like, "Can you
Oh yeah, you were.
can
in
you
Greece.
drive
We were
to
at dinner. We were
Corvallis?" He was
sitting at
like,
dinner with Erik. And
he was like, I'm in
Greece.
Hawaii right now, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to Corvallis. And I was like, Jordan, I'm going to be honest with you. You're a lot closer to Corvallis than I am. If one of us is going, I think it might have to be you. I'm like 14 hours via plane. Like, yeah.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the rule of thumb is like 80 from AJ. I think actually, I used because I wanted to get into storage before I got into parks, because I thought it would be easier. Not have to
Nothing's
do it.
easy.
Yeah, right. Not knowing anything.
Yeah.
They're not easier. They're just different.
Yeah.
Different.
And to some people, that is easier.
Right.
It depends on.
Depending on your propensity for brain damage.
I do think though that this is my take that is not really backed by anything. I think that the difficulty of operation of a given piece of real estate is in direct proportion to the cap rate that it trades at.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's my take. At least given like the same location.
Yeah.
So if you're within the same market. So I'm not saying like a 3-cap skyscraper in New York is easier to manage than like a whatever mobile home park in Oklahoma. But if you have like a big old apartment building in Oklahoma and it's new and it's in like downtown and you just have plenty of options for managers in the area. And like, I think that's why that trades at a lower cap rate. I think cap rates are like a lot within specific markets, at least, are just based on the difficulty of operation of that
Yeah,
asset.
headaches versus money.
I think so.
validity to that. And I mean that the lower cap rate projects security as well. Like
Yeah.
you're paying for a lower cap rate because it's a more stabilized
Sustainable
asset.
cash flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's validity to that.
So Daniel Wisefield, he's one of the largest park owners
Yeah, I
in the
think he's
nation.
top 10.
Yeah,
I'd say.
and he's doing really good deals, but of bigger parks, right?
Yeah, we should talk to him. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna go now. I don't know how. I should talk to him. I have his phone number. I should just call him. But yeah, but we talked to him because we wholesale as well, like you guys know. We got on a Zoom with him and we kind of just ran through our CRM. We're like, hey, do you want any of these? And same thing, it's like, okay, yeah, we'd be into that, but it has to be trading at this level, Okay, yeah, we'll take that, but again, it has to be trading at this lower level. So they're running into the same thing, but I think back to what Gabe said was volume. I think they're probably just doing way more volume.
Well, and you get the economies of scale. Like what we find in multifamily is when we take on a bigger project, everything costs less. Management's less. Sales costs are less. You're doing the same due diligence. It might be a little more, but it's like when you look at it over 200 doors versus over 50 doors.
Proportionally, it's less.
Yeah, proportionally per door, it's less. So there's got to be some economies of scale in parks as well.
surely.
I will say the weird thing though on multifamily is there's kind of a sweet spot
There is.
in terms of like once you get to some of those huge assets that have like a big fitness center and a pool and like all of these common areas that are like amenities.
You start to
for the
lose
tenants.
some of the efficiencies.
You lose it hard.
Yeah.
It's like, well, like 4% of your expense ratio is for that pool.
Right.
Like, and so I don't know. Like we've looked at some stuff in like Eugene and Portland where like they had a lot of amenities and you have like an additional probably 10% expense
yeah.
just because of like maintenance on the amenities that you don't have on like, you know, like River Run. It's like, okay, you don't have crazy common area expenses. You don't have like a huge lawn that you have to landscape all the time.
You know
And
what's
so
interesting
there's like
about
a sweet spot on it.
There is a sweet spot, and you can go back over time and look at different vintages. Go look at 40s product, 50s, 60s, 70s, keep going through, and you go like, how come every 1940s project is 32 units? And then how come every 1980s project is like 48 units? And like it changes over time.
That's funny.
Based on how many units, obviously, it's going to take to put an on-site manager there, or what amenities you're going to offer.
Yeah.
But there is a spot where it's like up to this point, it doesn't make sense. And then after a point, it also doesn't make sense. And every area is a little bit different. So like in Texas, maybe the sweet spot's 500 units.
Yeah.
But in Salem, Oregon, maybe it's 88 units or whatever. And you look at stuff that's been built even over the last 10 years, and you'll find most of the developers that I work with, they want to build roughly 100 unit phases. So like you'll see a ton of stuff in the high 80s, low 90s, but they do it if they're going to do multiple. If they're going to build a 200 unit project, they'll build a couple of 100 unit phases. And so it comes down to phasing. It comes down to lease up, because you're never going to want to deliver 200 units into this market at the same time. Whereas in Texas, if you're doing a 500 unit project, maybe you deliver the first 200 at once because you've got enough people to fill those.
Interesting. So in Stack, where was that inflection point where you got that first larger deal? Do you remember that point?
Well, Trevor just won't give up. He's just like,
he's
you do a deal.
relentless.
Once we got one under contract for 50 doors, the next deal has to be 100. That's just the way he is. So
I would say most of us though, like the biggest, well, you being Gabe has never like limited us by any means. It was, and you've always pushed us to like, why are we doing?
Think bigger.
We got to think bigger first, and then second of all, like I think used to. Like right when you get into the game, you're looking at these huge projects and you just assume that like you can't do it. It's like, well, that's like that's not our game. But then when you look at a big project and it's actually a good deal, and you flip the narrative to like, well, why couldn't we do it? Like, what is the actual thing that's preventing us from doing it? So like in your example, it's like, okay, we would need somebody who is full time bringing in homes to the parks and like working on filling them, and that would take a ton of my time. Well, it's like, okay, so why not
Just do it.
Like, why can't? And so that was the. I think we all were just that way by nature though. Is like, well, why not? Instead of, because even when like we first got into like doing deals together, and I was like, how do you buy deals with no money? Because I was just like persistent that I wanted to own real estate, but I had no idea how, and I was super poor, and so and so
He's rich on paper now.
so past tense for sure. And so, but then I met with Trevor, and it was like, how do I buy a deal? And he was like, you just have to get everybody else to give you all the money for it. And I was like, how do I do that? And then he explained it, and he was like, well, why wouldn't they do it? And I was like, I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know why they wouldn't do it. And he was like, if you talk to enough people, like somebody's going to do it.
So Eric, talk about what it is that's stopping you from going bigger. Is it fear of we can't run a project that big? Is it raising capital to get there?
No.
Like, is it like you don't qualify for the fine? So you're saying even the bigger deals, it's not giving you the same return, at least what you're seeing, and maybe you're doing the math wrong. I mean, there might be a possibility.
There could be that you underwrite a big deal like that different.
So the guy that Trevor's telling you to call, I think this is a good phone call, because what we found is like,
Could you ask him to come on the podcast too when you talk to him?
Sure.
thanks.
I bet he would.
Eric's in charge of getting his guests. What we found is like all you got to do is look at the guys who started before we did, and somebody who's been doing this already for 20, 30, 40 years. Like, where do they all end up? And what I found is that the ones that keep going and keep upgrading their portfolio and growing over time is they always want to end up in newer, bigger product.
Right.
And they want to end up in better markets where there's more people. I mean, like they want to move from D to C to B to A. Like they want to move up in the rank. And you'd think like you go look at the A property You go like, I don't want to buy this thing. It's a super low cap. There's not a ton of upside. What they're buying as they move through their investment cycle is they're buying that stability you were talking about that you get with a lower cap rate property. They want to get institutional grade debt. They want a bond-like return. They want to know that they've got an asset that they're not going like, oh my God, I got a $30,000 turn every other week. Like they're in something that is much more, you can understand what's going to happen. You can forecast better. There's not as many surprises.
Yeah, you guys might have lower rates and longer AM schedules, which would change your underwriting a lot. So like
for larger assets.
Yeah, so like when we're looking at the asset class we're doing now, you can take your DSCR down to 1.15 and your AM schedule to 35 and your rate down to in the lower fives.
You get 35 AM?
Yeah, through HUD you can. Yeah, and you can go up to 40-year AMs on some projects.
Does HUD do MHP?
I don't know. But agency might though, and like so it's like okay, that if you're at a 20-year AM versus a 30-year AM on the
it's
deal,
a big difference.
Right.
big difference on the cash flow.
Yeah, that is a big difference because they qualify for institutional debt, and I just don't. That's a piece maybe that we're missing right now.
You definitely qualify for institutional debt.
I don't know if we would, but
Yeah, you would with Jan. Like for a $6 million deal, yeah.
For sure.
I think at this point, you're probably right.
For sure you would. Yeah.
Yeah, have the liquidity, you have the net worth, you have the experience.
Right. And then we just missing the asset.
When you guys offer seller carries, what are like do you have a standard set of terms that you're offering people?
Yeah, we're pretty aggressive with them.
Yeah.
Like 10% down, 30-year AM, 3% interest.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot higher price, but.
Have you thought about going longer AM schedules but giving a higher interest rate or just going interest only?
That's our boilerplate offer.
Yeah.
And then depending on what they say, we'll change it around to meet their needs.
I'm wondering too, if you go into a bigger asset type, do the people who want to invest in that, maybe they're okay with a 12% return or a 15 rather than a 20%? Because that's what we were having the conversation on, because Dane got really mad at me. He's like, why don't we have any deals under contract? I'm like, it's really hard to find a 20% average annual
Really
return.
mad would be a little strong.
Well, when you're talking about getting a 20% return on a $600,000 deal and you're talking about getting a 12%
and the risk
return
involved to get there in Missouri versus...
But you just multiply that and you do a $6 million. Now the percentage is lower, but the dollars are bigger.
And you might be able to shift too, because what percent of the deal do you guys own?
It depends. Anywhere from 50 to 70%.
Oh, wow. So that's a lot, to hit 20% for them, because they fund the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we'll throw some cash in occasionally.
Also, So, I mean, maybe when you go to that bigger deal, you're like, okay, on this small deal, this $600,000 deal, right? You guys are going to make whatever, $200,000, $300,000.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe we could own 20% of this $10 million deal and we make $1 million.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I'd rather own less of that, make more.
Have you ever thought about leaving your seller in the deal with you?
Yeah. A little bit. I don't
like as equity.
Right. Like the 721.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since you can operate the parks better for these. Because realistically for your sellers, rather than going and raising outside capital for all those deals, they would be better off just staying in with you.
Right.
Like on Hermiston, right? Or Pendleton, sorry. Like they could have got all their capital out tax-free and then owned a portion of the park still, and you guys wouldn't had to bring any outside investor capital.
Right.
So you did them a disservice by not offering it.
But you take on a partner.
Yeah.
And you got to clearly outline what their role is and how that's going to work.
Sure. And how do you guys do that? How do you outline that, I suppose?
The partners?
Yeah.
Silent.
You're
silent.
I mean, it depends a little bit on their goals too and what they want to see, and because everyone's a little different, right? So like we're doing the same thing as you. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want to do with this money?
Some don't want to be on debt. Some will be on debt. Some want to roll the money into the next deal and keep it rolling forward.
Right.
Some are just like, I like my deal and I don't need all the money and I trust you guys to run the deal as good or better than I do. So I might as well stay in it and let you. Because if that's a lifestyle thing, like what I'm talking about, where it's like this thing really does well for us, but we really don't want to deal with it anymore.
Sure.
It's like, okay, well, why don't you stay in the deal? We're operators. We already run multiple parks across the country. Why don't we come in, run the operations? We'll partner with you. You can still benefit from all the things that you get from owning the real estate, but now you don't have to deal with it. And you take half your money now, or we pull that money out and go do another deal. We go buy another park. Now you own 50% of two parks instead of 100% of one.
Yeah.
And you deal with zero of the brain damage. We sign on the debt, we run the asset, and we send you a check.
And because their return on equity equity probably is so low on these parks, like all these small deals you're talking about. It's like you can stay in here, you can own it. We're going to operate better. You get your money first, like it's preferred. And then, yeah, we can 1031 it into this other park. We're not necessarily going to get a 20% return, but if they get a 12 or 15, it's probably way better than
what they're getting now.
They're 6 that they're getting now.
It's working their equity harder for them because they don't want to take on the extra liability of, more debt, more operations, more whatever. Like the thought is, sure, I want to make more money, but I don't want to do all the things that it takes to get there. But now suddenly I got these partners that come alongside me that are young and hungry and know how to do it. And you sell yourselves as the equity housing group, and you guys come in and go like, we do this, and this is our plan, and here's what we could do with your project. You could go fully silent.
Right.
And the problem is then they got to give up control. They got to go like, it's worth it to me to take the risk that these guys are going to do a better job than me and give up half of my project, and I can go, sail around the world, do what I want to do, and I'll let them run it.
Yeah, yeah. I wish Jan was here because he's the one who does the offering, so he would be able to.
He can listen to this.
Yeah, Jan, you better.
We're
listen
recording
to this. I do think that there's 3 things that you guys mentioned: talking to investors, see if we can get. If they'd be willing to accept lower cash-on-cash return. I feel like that is a good place to start. Getting bigger deals, giving up more of the deal. I like that. And then keeping the seller in the deal as well. I think those are good avenues that we should probably approach. Jan and I have talked about it a little bit, about doing the 721. I don't think we've coached our acquisition manager on it enough to be pitching that as a third option, because we only do cash and seller financing right now as far as I'm aware. But I think that's a really good option. I think something that we've run into though is, and this is obviously anecdotal because we haven't talked to every single park owner in the States. There's like 55,000 or something like that. A lot of them are mom and pop owners that are old and they're ready to move on. And so they just want, they're 60s, 70s. They just want cash so they can go live the rest of their life. That is something that we've seen.
But they can have that tax-free potentially if you're doing the value add on the park.
Explain.
Well, like, so your Pendleton one, right? You bought it for $1 million.
Yeah.
It's worth 2.3, you said, or 2.2 or whatever.
Yeah.
You could have re-levered it after you made it worth that, pulled out $1.5 million, 1 to 1.5.
Okay.
And they could have took it tax-free versus they just sold that. They bought it for $200. They paid on $800 of cap gains, and they got $600,000 or whatever they got.
That's a really good selling point.
Yeah, they get more money.
Really good selling.
And you could have been like, and you can, after you get this money back, you can own 20% of the park still.
That's a really good selling point. And do you ever work into those deals a waterfall, like a cascade on the equity if you refinance?
You could too, yeah. So like you get more upside the better it does or whatever it is.
Or their equity gets diluted a little bit after refinance.
Sure.
That's a really good idea. The tax-free. I got to remember that.
Trevor loved hearing you say that.
That's a really good idea.
It is a good idea.
Well, it's a better option for them too.
It's a fantastic option.
Yeah, because like on one of the better deals we did, we tried to get them to do this, and they said no. And they cashed out $600,000. They would have got $1 million, and we would have given them half ownership still. So they would have got $1 million tax free
and half ownership,
and they would have had like 1.5 in equity after the fact still.
Jesus.
Instead
they got $600,000.
and we tried everything to talk some sense into them, and they wouldn't.
What was their reason for?
They just wanted out. They had too much brain damage. They just didn't want to have anything to do with the project.
They lived in the property. They were tired of dealing with it.
They were running the day-to-day. They were just, there was emotional damage. Like they were just, we have to be out of this deal.
Yeah.
But they took a significant haircut on what they could have put in their pocket if they had done our deal.
It's a good offer.
That is a fantastic offer.
Yeah. It's the best offer for your avatar. It doesn't, I don't know that it necessarily works on like some of the huge deals because it kind of gets a little messier when there's like multiple people involved in the project and you got like for the mom and pops, like if you can clearly articulate what you're offering to them, because the biggest hurdle is that you understand real estate better than 99% of people. You understand how to structure a deal better than most people. And it's still kind of hard for you to wrap your head around like this specific structure. And that's not a you thing. That's just like, you just have to think about it more. Like it just takes time, like thinking about it. And so you have to put yourself in their shoes and think like, what's the simplest way that I can give them a one pager? That's not even a real offer. It's just like a brochure
of your program.
Like, hey, this is what we do.
Here's what we did before. And if you want to talk to somebody who did it once you've done it, it's like, call John, and John will tell you how we did it. And go, hell yeah, I'd much rather take my money out tax-free and make more money, and these guys are doing a great job.
Yeah.
It was the perfect thing. And then, owners trust each other more than they're going to trust you out of the gate. So you have to build it. That's the hard part is you got to jump in, you got to do a few of them and build a track record and show it actually works. There has to be a proof of concept. We've done the proof of concept, so now we can go tell people.
But you've also done the proof of concept with your past deals.
With the operations. Right. They've proven to be an operator.
You're just showing, too, like where your investors brought in money and they're just replacing the place of that investor. Right. So they're just an investor in the deal now at this point.
Right.
Yeah. Why not raise your capital from the very person you're buying the deal from?
Yeah.
I also think the pref is such a huge, like when you're talking to those guys and it's like, no. I don't make any money
until
you get what I'm telling you you're going to get. Like, it's not even, so like, think about my motivation. Because then it's like, put yourself in my shoes. Like, you think I'm doing this because I don't want to make money? No. It's because I'm so confident that I can take the park to this, get you this, and then I want to make this amount of money. Or I can raise money from somewhere else and you can take a tax hit.
What does your pref structure look like normally?
I mean,
It's
it varies
different on every deal.
Trevor usually tells him that we're going to give him all the money and we don't make any ever. and then because he's like, dude, we got to buy the deal though.
We got the deal.
It's very delayed.
Is it the goal to own more real estate? Like one of the projects we're working on, it's like we're gonna be stoked that we own it in 10 years.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we're gonna make a lot of money in the first 10 years.
They're just taking it all.
But it's still a good deal for us. Like and
it leads to doing another deal too with that structure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And they're rolling their capital into the next deal, and then they're going to be stoked. And then the next time that we do a deal with a seller similar to that, it's like talk to so and so.
Talk to Jim Bob over there.
Yeah, talk to Billy.
Would you say your avatar, are they more sophisticated?
Varies.
Yeah, it varies a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, they understand real. It's better if they understand real estate because then they can see the vision of it too.
Right.
They need to understand what they're doing, but I think the avatar is like, I could do it, but I don't want to. Like, I don't have the energy to do it. I don't want to go chase a deal.
Yeah.
I don't want to 1031. I don't want to take on more debt. I don't really want to run the day-to-day. Like, the thought becomes, at some point, you have enough money, and then it's like, well, I could make more, but then I'd have to do something that I don't really want to do. So to take away those things that they don't want to do and go, we'll do that for you, and we'll go work your equity harder, and you don't have to do that anymore.
And you'll make more money.
And you'll make more money.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Brochure.
a brochure? Yeah. Do you have a one pager for me? And
It's more than one page.
No, I'm making it right now. One pager.
Dane named this the LBO, the leveraged buyout.
You actually named this.
No, he said it. We were in Norway. We were in Norway. We were on a train in Norway, and Dane just goes, "I think we should call it a leveraged buyout."
No,
LBO.
that's actually what Blackstone called it from the book you said to read. And then I told you,
but
hey,
I never read it.
No,
You told
I hadn't
Dane
read the
about
book
it
either.
Let's just give Dane credit for something right now.
thanks,
No, Dane's
Trevor.
been pissing me off. I had to turn his Xbox off on him this morning.
No, you turned Eric's Xbox
Turned my
off.
Xbox off while Trevor was 30 minutes in the shower.
Eric was on a 7-kill streak. Black Ops
I
1.
don't understand.
That was unbelievable.
Yes, we have
actually.
some stuff we can share with you. What about our listeners? Will we share this with our listeners? If you want an LBO,
Sure.
All
I
right.
think you should
I don't
share.
care.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should share.
Did you say we had to pivot, Trevor?
What?
CTA. he laid you up. Or an alley-oop.
Alley oop.
Yeah, it was an alley-oop.
Yeah, if you're a seller and you have a property and you're interested in this, you can go to our website,
Oh, wow.
What's
That's
our
a great
website?
idea.
Hey.
dealjunkies.podcast.com.
And how could
And
they
you-
reach out to you?
There's a button there you can click, or you can go to stackassetgroup.com.
And then you
There's a
could
button.
learn more about the leverage buyout?
Yep, you can.
Wow.
I would love to do that.
Well, I think everybody who's interested in something like that, not paying taxes and making boatloads of money, should maybe consider clicking the button.
Disclaimer.
If that's something that you like doing as an individual. I mean, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks.
I guess so.
Sounds like fun to me.
Please,
That was a good
may I have
CTA.
another?
All right, good round. Good round.
Do we solve all your problems, Eric?
I feel good now. No, I think I wish I could talk more in depth about this, but
You
I'm
can.
not the one.
You're here for 4 days with us.
You're living with
We're
Trevor and
going to
Dane.
talk about it. We talk about this nonstop. I'm not the boots on the ground when it comes to the offers, so I can't.
We
talk
should,
about the
partner up. We'll
technical
buy a park.
details.
if you
We'll
operate
it. Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to operate it.
I'll do it.
I'll buy it. We're just not going to make money for 10 years. Just keep that in mind. We're playing the long game, son.
Okay, sounds good. But I think, those 4 pieces of information are super valuable for me. I got to simmer with that. I definitely want to get on the phone with our acquisitions manager on Monday and walk him through that in detail.
You're gonna probably have to have you guys hopping on to do that because it's gonna be so hard.
I mean, I think it's worth. Yeah, we'll do that. One other thing that we're trying.
It's a yawn phone call.
Yeah,
that's a yawn phone call.
You might have to have Trevor do it.
I was thinking that when Gabe said, "Here's our past our past examples," I was like,
we just partner up
have
and then
Trevor
you can use
answer
ours.
the phone.
Yeah.
I know this guy named Trevor. One other thing that we're trying to pitch too is asset management for folks, people that aren't ready to sell, thinking that it's a good pipeline to cash flow, but also a good pipeline to them selling to us in the future. We're doing that. Not super hard right now. We've made a couple offers on it, but that's one other avenue that we're trying to massage.
Sweet.
It's cool. All right. Erik Nielsen, COO of Equal Housing Group.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is amazing.
And future half Ironmaner.
I've been saying for years I want to own a mobile home park, and for some reason we just can't do it. So now we're going to do it. We say we're going to do it. We're putting it out there in the world.
We have not tried to do it yet.
We're going to buy a mobile home park.
Let's do it.
A very big one.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, Deal Junkies, if you want to book a call with us and solve your problem, go to dealjunkiespodcast.com, book a call. We also have some free stuff on there for you you can get models. Maybe we'll put the LBO on there. We'll do whatever you want. So we're trying to provide value to you guys so you can go out and do more deals. Please share us with someone you love, and we'll see you next time.